Hello, everyone, and welcome back to episode 18 of the Journeyman series here at Fresno State. We have an exciting video today, hopefully. It's a big, it's a big caveat, but we'll see how it goes. I am hopeful that we'll be able to have some success and rock and roll today. First things first, special thank you for those of you that watched episode 17 that came out last week, whether on Twitch or YouTube. In terms of like the first, I think it was 8 hours, that video did really, really well views wise. So if you watched that, please thank you. If you have not seen it, I recommend checking it out because as you can see, the games go pretty well as we currently sit 8-0, 6-0 in the Mountain West, which is good enough for sixth in the country. We are one of only a few undefeated teams in the top 25. Liberty's at 15, we're at sixth, and USC Michigan at 2-1, respectfully. Also, it must be said, Purdue is winless, which is grim for my alma mater, but it's fine. If you did not catch last video, let me give you a quick recap here. We opened the season against Penn State because they obviously took the final playoff spot from us unjustly last season, and I wanted to see who was the better team. And it was a close game. As you can see, we had to score 21 and unanswered points in the second half to steal it at the death. It was a very, very good game of football. I think our defense deserved a commendation for how they did, especially in the second half. So that started strong. And then we faced, it must be said, a fairly easy schedule. When I scheduled Pitt and Louisville, I expected them both to be ranked when we played them. Pitt wasn't. They're 3-2. Louisville won't be ranked when we play them. They'll be around 500. So that part is a little disappointing. But we've blown out almost every Mountain West team we have faced to the point where the closest game was a 16-point victory over Colorado State. And overall, our team is doing really, really well. If we look at the summary page, we have a top 10 offense in terms of passing yards per attempt. We are doing very well at time of possession. We're first in the country. We're top 30 in rush yards. The only things that are hurting us, I would say, is defensively, we have not gotten turnovers. We've only gotten 8. And as you can tell, that's 1 per game, which isn't a great ratio. And then the second thing is we're not good in the slightest in stopping big plays. We're 85th in the country in allowing 20 plus yard plays and 110th in 40 plus. And for those that don't know, there are 136 teams in this database. So not exactly where you want to be in those 100 ranks. So my plan of attack for today is we're just going to play however many games are left in the season. At the moment, a bowl game is obviously guaranteed. And I think if we either win out or go 3-1, that should be good enough for the playoff. There's not many one-loss teams that are sort of near our level, which is good. That might give us a 1-game cushion, but what's working against us is just the fact that every team we're going to play is not going to be ranked, and they're going to be around 500. So going undefeated would be great. 3-1 should be okay. Checking in really quick on player promises. We have satisfied both promises already. Well, we're about to. Andres Matthews, our kicker, who has been perfect on the year, has yet to miss a field goal or an extra point. He just has to play in 2 more games in order to get his promise. And then we have already given Dennis Jordan his 50 carries on the season, so he is also satisfied. Looking at our donor goals, I'm a bit worried about one of them, and that's the forced fumbles. We got two forced fumbles, I think, in the first like 2, 3 weeks of the season, and then barely got any since. So I'm a little worried that we're not going to get three more by the end. San Diego State game, obviously TBD. We have to win one more game of football to get the silver goal, and then or have a linebacker earn all conference honors. I'll get to the chances of that here in a second, and then hold opponents less than 240 pass yards per game. At the moment, we're holding them to 205. So looks like we'll get bronze. As far as the linebacker earning all conference, I think one or two things need to happen. One is someone like Nasir Richard needs to get like another turnover or some more tackles for a loss since he already has the forced fumble and the pick. And then other than that, it's just Malik Greer needs to get a lot more tackles for loss. But I don't really know if any of these linebackers are really in that conversation. Unfortunately, Jared Pittman went down with a season-ending injury a couple weeks ago, so that ruined his chances at it. So that donor goal is looking a bit shaky. But let's look at Air Force really quick. They are our opponent for this upcoming week, and so far, they've kind of done what we've done in terms of dominated a lot of their conference games. But they lost in double overtime to San Jose State, which is a terrible loss. And then they lost to Texas Tech week one, and there's a bad Hawaii loss in there also. They have the fourth easiest schedule in the country at 133rd in the country. So they're playing some pretty easy teams, and yet they're still only 5-3. They have a very good offense, especially running the ball, which I'm not too worried about. But one thing also, talent-wise, they have the third worst offensive talent in the country and the eighth worst in defensive talent. So this is one of the worst teams, and the only reason they're doing well is because they're playing somehow even worse teams. I expect to win this game by at least 20. We'll see how that goes. We have three recruits visiting, two of whom Rodolfo Horn and Caden Bowers were in close races with. So I think getting a good win here get us a lot of points, and we can safely get these two in our team. Lucas Yates is already ours, but this kind of helps just get him to commit today. So we've played Air Force twice last season. They were our only conference loss when they beat us 24-16. But then we avenged that loss in the Mountain West Championship game last year when we beat them by 5, and that was not good enough to secure our place in the college football playoffs. So, yeah. 11-2. Anyway, whatever. So we're gonna play our game here. I have made a couple changes to the depth chart kind of off stream to get some of the more depth guys, younger guys, a bit more playing time, but nothing really too crazy. We will elect to defer because tails never fails. I did completely forget to look to see if their quarterback could run. Oh, and Landon Stafford gets us started with the sack. That'll do. 3rd and 9. And they convert. Man, all right, they still got Josue Keith. He's only played in 3 games, though. Yeah, it looks like they didn't play him through his minor injury, which is good. I like that the AI doesn't, like, force a lot of guys to play. If I remember correctly, he can't really run. Nah, not really. All right, well, they converted on 3rd and 9, which is less than ideal. Hashtag analysis. They get the 3rd-and-1 conversion. Not having to worry about opposing 3rd-down conversions is so freeing this season. There we go. All right, we force them to punt. I'll take that. As is our want. Shoe clock is coming on. Will I be able to get more than 1 yard? Yes. Asher Donahue, 10-yard conversion. That helps. That certainly helps. Duncan goes backwards, and then Peters goes backwards. They're driving. They're moving. All right, they make the 38-yarder, so they're on the board first. Our run game is just not there. There we go. Raymond Norman 24-yard pass. That'll do. I think one of the big issues I've run into this season is I underestimated the drop off in talent from going from Benjamin Darling last year to Keaton Peters this year. Peters just has not had it. Harrison Pearson though, 32-yard go route. That'll do. Touchdown. We'll take it. And we take the lead. 3rd and 7. I think a blitz is ambitious. Yeah. Oh, they would have burned us on that blitz. Phoenix Roberts muffs the punt. That's his first fumbled punt of the season. If he gets a second, I bench him from kick return duties, as is the rule. Which would be a shame because he got, returner of the year last season. But alas, defense holds him to a field goal. Can we do anything? Answer: no. No, we cannot. We'll punt. Not a great showing thus far from our offense. Defense is fighting for its life getting 3 and outs right now. And Duncan is picked by Dylan Paul on the slant route. Not good. Nissia Richard just got another tackle for a loss. That helps. And they dropped 2 straight passes and have to punt. There we go. Phoenix Roberts redemption. 30-yard punt return. That'll help his numbers a bit this season. Am I just not going to run the ball? Is that just kind of where I'm at? There we go, Garrison. 10-yard rush. That'll do. All right, there's a minute 24 left. I'm going to keep chew clock on. Yeah, 1st and 10, the 11. I'm going to go down just to normal then. There we go. Ian Fox on the slants. We're up by 8, and they only have 5 seconds left. And they ran it. Fair enough. Okay, good news is we get the ball to start the second half. And I think we need to score because our defense is kind of holding on for dear life. And eventually our luck will just run out. Duncan getting sacked on 2nd down. Not great. Yeah. Oh, boy. 3rd and 3, what are they lining up? Single back wing slot. I'm going to blitz. Send it. Get there. There we go. The safety, Alfredo McCoy, tackles him short. They punt. All right, let's run the ball a bit. We're just going to burn an obscene amount of clock, run some read option. It didn't work. Where's my power option? There it is. That didn't work either, which is a bit of a shame. Incomplete again. We have punts. There we go. We're just going to keep hitting them backwards, maybe get a safety. No dice. All right. Well, we have the ball with a really good field position now. But can we capitalize? I'm going to run it on 3rd down, and if I don't get it, I'm going for it on 4th down. All right, we got it. Good. I was beginning to worry there for a bit. Power option. Keaton Peters, in zone. We're up by 15. I debated going for 2 there just to try to put the game away even more, but why risk it when our defense is playing so well? Really? Nah. I'm going for it. We're just going to line up in the ice, in the goal line D. Send it. Garrison, thank you. We're just not. What's our average run yard per play? 4.4. That seems high based on how a lot of these runs have gone. There we go. Phoenix Roberts over the top. They blitz us on 3rd and 9, which conceptually I respect, but it does not work out for them. They convert the 3rd and 1. Not the 3rd and 9, though. 3rd and 4. I'm just going to run it. 4th and 1. Garrison converts. All right, the backups are in on offense. And the drive stalls immediately. The backups being in on defense does have me worried a little bit. Hey, Javon Branch with the sack. That'll do. They failed to convert the fourth down. Byron Shore gets the touchdown. That'll do it without question. Okay, I think, first of all, our run game was sneakily bad. But second of all, our defense, I mean, they held them to 2 field goals. Air Force was 3 of 14 on third down. They only averaged 3 yards a pass. That's terrible. Duncan had a pretty good game. Obviously, the pick sucks, but besides that, he was solid. Again, Peters, man, 2.5 yards per carry with the touchdown in there. Wide receivers had a pretty good day overall. Boyle is still probably going to want to kill me since he's not playing. 10 tackles for loss. That'll do. 3 sacks also. Very nice. Phoenix did fumble the punt, but other than that, he had good returns. So there we go. We beat Air Force 35-6. Maybe if one of the teams in the top 5 lost, we might sneak into the top 5. But I doubt it. I think at this point, honestly, we're more likely to go down than we are go up, just because we're not going to play a ranked team again the rest of the season. Never mind, we went up 4, and 2 linebackers got injured. Okay, let's deal with the rankings first. Ohio State lost to USC. They got blown out, so we move up 2 places to number 4. Okay. So Liberty is also still undefeated. Are there any other undefeated teams down here? Troy's 8-1. Yeah, it looks like that's it. So there's only 3 undefeated teams left: USC, us, and Troy. Now, linebackers. So Cooper Hale is out for 1 week. I'm just dropping him all the way to the bottom so that he rests. Malik Greer, it's a 3-week injury, but his ratings are still so good. Like, I'm just going to keep him there, to be honest. And then Caden Caldwell is going to get some reps. I'm somewhat tempted to rip the red shirt off of Ricardo Thompson, but I think at this point I'll just play him out. Or red shirt him out. And then I saw a tight end got injured. Brady McLean goes down. And Walter Leonard's still complaining, but like, eh. How is Lockhart done catching wise? 18 catches, 96 yards. He's just not been utilized that much at all. Carrington similarly. I think. I mean, part of it is he's just not throwing it to the tight ends. Like 19, let's just call that 20 targets, 18. He's throwing it to the tight ends like what, 3 times a game essentially. I think what I'll do, just as an experiment, I'll drop Carrington to 3, put Lockhart at 1 and Leonard at 2, and see if having the better pass catchers out there gets me a little bit more juice. We'll see how that goes. We did have some commits. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, it was just Lucas Yates who attended that game. Moses Liu, I assume, went to Stanford. Yep. Other than that, I got 780 points for both Horn and Bowers. I wish they would have just committed off the back of that. That was my first commit, and we're in week 11. This is pretty late, all things considered. So let me see here. Didn't I add? Oh, yeah. Miguel Weaver, I wanted to scout fully because he fascinated me. So he has an F potential. Yeah, no. I just wanted to see what his potential was from earlier. I don't think we're getting Ezekiel Muhammad, which is a bit of a shame. I don't think we're getting Brody Stevenson. I'd have to pay like Even if I go above his market value, I'm still short. I don't know if I want to pay this guy. You know what? I'll pay him 800,000. I will give him the money he wants, and inevitably, when he chooses Stanford anyway, I'm just gonna cry. But I have not spent. Whoa. Okay. Oklahoma's visit went well. They beat number 12 Auburn, so they got 1,000 points off the visit, and now all of a sudden, I am neck and neck with Oklahoma for Corey Neal, who I really, really like as a slot corner. But I mean, getting a good corner is a luxury right now. So I don't want to invest too much money or resources into getting him. Rodolfo, would you commit already? Killing me. Killing me, Smalls. All right, so man, our linebacking core is just decimated right now. Bad year to need a linebacker get all conference, it must be said. All right, Louisville, hello. They are 5-4. They've beaten an FCS school, so they have lost my respect. They have no ranked wins. They just beat a bad Syracuse team. Okay, I mean, they're pretty good against the run, so that'll be a good test for Peters to see if he can have a bounce back game. Looks like they pass for a first down more often than not. Oh, good, and they're great with big plays. That could become a problem. QB is Ernesto Blue, who sat for 4 years and has thrown he's thrown more picks than interceptions, and wow, 36 sacks. That's more than 3 a game. I almost feel bad for you. All right, so we're going to work on stopping their pass. It looks like they're a very pass-heavy team. Horrendous running the ball, and then we'll work on our rushing game, as is our wants. All right, let's play. So we're favored by 10. This honestly could be a game where things get shaky since they have such a good pass game. We have 5 recruits visiting. I think the big 2 to worry about is obviously Ezekiel Muhammad up top. See how many points we get, see how close we are to OSU, and then Corey Neal trying to get ahead of Oklahoma since they just got 1,000 points, which seems a bit rude. Just saying. All right, Louisville. So they call heads, they're right, and they like to receive, so the end result is all the same. It's in the house. I did not look to see if Ernesto Blue can run, but judging by how much he's passed, yeah, no. They paid him $1.3 million and they sat him for 4 years. That's kind of crazy. 3rd and 10, I'm going to go too high safety, I think, more often than not. Their wide receiver drops the corner route. Cool. That's mighty nice of them. But yeah, I think the big determinant in this game is simply, can we limit the big damage from their pass plays? There we go. We convert the 3rd and 9. Walter Leonard getting involved with a 22-yard pass. And then Raymond Norman with the touchdown as they did a cover 2 man from the 9-yard line. All right, we're up 7-0. That'll do. They convert the 3rd and 7. Fair enough. Not the 3rd and 6. They punt. Peters getting like 1 and 0 yards on his runs are legitimately, I think, the main thing holding our offense back is just he has not had a good season relative to expectation. I think the lack of tight end production is fine because that's like the least, part of our offense. But like Keaton Peters just is killing us right now. He's 6 carries, 21 yards, and he's had so many rushes of just 0 yards. Run yard. Read option. It worked. Harrison Pearson touchdown. I'm really liking the underplay a lot. One of my saves I'm doing sort of off stream, I run like a very air raid style, um, but still using the pistol. I just throw the ball an obscene amount of times, and the unders play has worked quite a bit. And another have they can? I know they got the big play. Yeah, so outside of the big 20-yard play, they've barely done anything on offense, which is fine by me. I'm okay with that. They can struggle all they want. Oi! And their punt returner, Brian Goodwin. 50-yard punt return. And just like that, we get it back. Alfredo McCoy with the pick in the end zone. That'll do. The play action boot. It worked. Walter Leonard getting involved. The play action worked. I'm sorry, Louisville. We have the mandate right now. I say that and immediately -1 yard and then an incompletion. Oh, Jerome Lockhart, 24-yard touchdown. Have I unlocked the tight ends? It might be so. Oh, and he's picked again. Alfredo McCoy with his second pick of the day. Scenes. I think I'm just going to run the ball here as much as I can to burn some clock. Yep. All right, well, we're up 21-0 at half. I hear that's good. They're doing better on the run, but I mean, they've only ran it 5 times. So I'm not that worried. Like, we're going to crush time of possession solely because they don't run the ball. Like, irregardless of what we do, if we're forcing 3 and outs, and when they do 3 straight pass plays and they're all incomplete, we're going to burn so much time. Play action. It's working. That one did not. I had a bit too much faith in the play action, I think. Kick a field goal. Oi, and Andres Matthews, perfect on the season, has missed his first field goal, 31-yard. Shanked it. I do often wonder, since the game doesn't make a distinction between a missed field goal and a blocked field goal, I do wonder if some of the time when it says missed field goal, the field goal just got blocked. All right, they get in the end zone. That was a pretty methodical drive there in the air. That was okay. I just need to stop running the ball. Like it's not having the success that I want as we get sacked, and then I have to punt again. Oh, we got him at the 2. Get me a safety. Get me a safety. Man, the draw play is what killed us there. Oh, Alfredo McCoy, have a day with his third interception. They try 4 verts from the 9-yard line, which I have no choice but to respect the sheer audacity of. Remember when I just said I just need to stop running the ball, and then I do that? 4th and 5 from the 28. I am honestly going to go for it. My argument being, it's not, Matthews doesn't have great power, and if I don't get it, they still have to go a decent amount of yards. But I got it. Ian Fox, 13-yard reception. That'll do. Keaton Peters, you know what? Yeah, I'm making the executive decision. I'm benching Peters for the day. Let's give the other guys just the rest of the quarter. There we go. Garrison gets us home. All right. 21-point lead now. And another 3-and-out as their wide receivers are just dropping passes like it's their job. Dennis, you go backwards. Come on, buddy. Hey, Raymond Norman. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. And Garrison, another touchdown. The backups are in. They convert the 3rd and 13. Fair enough. Yeah, looks like Louisville's going to get points out of this one. They do get a touchdown. All right. They're using timeouts. Are they aware that they're down by 21? Like, is that a known fact for them? Oh, and Harrison Pearson, 49 yards on the slants for the touchdown. Extra point is good. And that'll do it. We beat Louisville 42-14. We had 7 plays of 20 plus yards, 2 plays of 40 plus. We averaged 10 yards a pass. Obviously, the last touchdown helped those numbers. I mean, they turned the ball over 3 times, and it was just Alfredo McCoy. Have yourself a day. But yeah, Duncan, I think, did solid. You'd like the completion percentage should be a bit higher, but that is what it is. Miles obviously came in, did pretty well. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what to do about Peters. I mean, how many drives did I have where it's like 0 yard run, 1 yard run, Duncan has to throw it 12 yards? Like, that kind of hurt. Norman, 7 receptions, 122 yards and a touchdown. Pearson had 70 and 2 touchdowns. Only 1 tackle for a loss from our defense, but that's because they just passed the ball all live long day. Yeah, I mean, they ran it with their running backs a combined 10 times. Come on. But we win. And our ranking is unchanged. Hey, we lose a linebacker. Or a linebacker. A offensive lineman. Edgar Hooper goes down. Which, that is not good. How long is he out for? So essentially the rest of the season. Cool. Yeah, that means Brandon Estes is going to get a decent amount of run, which I think I'm okay with. I mean, he's not terrible, but the big thing is just his strength is a 74, and that's like borderline unplayable. All right, here's the question. How many points did I get for Muhammad? 755, and I'm still 444 points away. 855 for Nicholas Unger, and Corey Neal is clutch. Oh, Calvin Medina committed. Spoilers. I mean, I'm still 440 away, and OSU just offered more money. I don't think we're getting Muhammad. 5 recruits commit. So Medina, we know we're getting. He is really the only reason I got him is he's a 4-star. Like, and that just helps our recruiting class. He doesn't have many numbers that are good. He'll definitely redshirt. He might not play until he's like a redshirt junior. And I'm not even kidding. Like, his strength is just bad. His tackling and block shed are not where you want to be for a 4-star recruit. And there's a non-zero chance that in 2 years his potential is down to like a C. So that's bad. Cherry Chase, we get who he could genuinely play next year. I don't think he will. I think I'll redshirt him, but there's a chance he could. Nehemiah Brewer, do we get him? We get him. Star running back Nehemiah Brewer, who he's not quick, but he's already got good ball carrier vision. His ball security is okay. After one redshirt year, he'll be solid. But now, that brings us to Brody Stevenson. He goes to Stanford. Yeah, I think if I offer more money, I maybe get him. But at the end of the day, his potential is a D minus. So there's always a chance that flips. But yeah, I'll let Stanford have him, and we get a little bit of NIL money back, since now we only have 1.25 million spent. So, all right, that brings me down to 13 recruits. I mean, I'm keeping pace with Cal for Emmanuel Haynes. I really need to beat UNLV. If I don't, that'll be... I don't think I'm getting Muhammad. Like, even if I up it to 2 million, I'm still only 220 ahead. Like, And don't get me wrong, he's great, but he's a JUCO guy that I'm only going to get him for 2 years. And linebacker, despite being my most injured position right now, it is a position where I think I have really good players at the top and good enough depth where I don't want to invest an insane amount of money in Ezekiel Muhammad. I think I'll do the 2 million and we'll just no, he still has their visit with Maryland. No, because the fear with doing that is if I invest the money and he doesn't commit before the transfer portal, then all of a sudden I'm just strapped with 2 million that I would have to lose integrity to get. Although at that point I'd do it for the 1 million anyway. Let's just see how OSU's visit goes, and then I'll go from there. All right. San Diego State. Financially, this is our biggest game of the season. Because if we win, we get $7.5 million from gold and bronze donors. If we lose, we're not seeing that money, and it's looking like we're not going to get the 5.25 for the forced fumbles either. So this is a must-win game just to keep our program growing. That said, San Diego State is 6-4, 5-2 in conference. They're on a 4-game winning streak. They're red hot, including beating a pretty good Ohio team, looks like. But yeah, I mean they have yet to face a ranked team until us, so we'll see how that plays. Looks like they're a pretty good passing team. It must be said. They're solid on third down, but their defense is just below average in almost everything besides sacks and opposing pass yards. I'm not too worried about this team. Who is your quarterback? Gail Tomlinson, still fair enough. This was the guy that lit the world on fire last year. Um, even like against us. However, we stopped him dead. So I'm not too worried about San Diego State. I'm more worried that just our guys can't sort of keep up. I am going to move Peters back in the run game. Byron Short, have you even done anything since I moved you? Not really. I'm going to flip Dennis Jordan back. Just in case Dennis Jordan doesn't start complaining if he drops below 30% snaps. We're favored by 12.5 points, which is definitely fair. Whoa, they have 9 recruits visiting, one of whom I'm interested in, quote unquote. So far in the sim, 4-1 to Fresno. Last year we beat them 28-3, which is very impressive. So I will gladly take a similar result here today, without question. They call heads. Ooh, they elect to defer. So we're starting with the football. Okay. There we go. Keaton Peters is taken to his benching well. 12-yard pass to open. Lob it up. 25 yards. We're back. Phoenix Roberts, touchdown on the slant. Boom. That'll do. That will do. I did forget. Can Gail Tomlinson run? Whoops. Yeah, that answer is yes. So we're going to get a little aggressive on the blitz to try to get him back. They convert the 3rd and 5. 13-yard. Yeah. This is going to be a tough one, I think. 3rd and goal at the 4. I like the blitz. I don't like the safety blitz. 0-yard rush. Good job. We hold them to a field goal. That helps. A 1-yard rush on 2nd down helps a little bit less. Oi, Garrison Godoy has arrived. And he gets in the end zone after that. Cool. 14-3. Eh, there we go. Malik Greer tackle for loss. The poor man is injured and he's still balling out. Blah. Wait a minute. Ruben Kruger. Oh, that's right. San Diego State has like two of my former players. They have Ruben Kruger, who this in 2027 was with the AI. And then I just didn't play him because other guys were better. And he went to San Diego State. And so far, he's having a pretty good year. So good for him. But San Diego State also has, and it looks like he has not caught a pass yet, Peyton Beal, who is their second wide receiver on their depth chart, looks like. He's having a better year than he ever had with me. And he's their punt returner, too. All right. Good for you, Peyton. Good for you. Anywho, we punch. And immediately Peyton Beal fumbled. Oh no. Oh no, he's a double agent. I'm not going to complain. I almost did because it was 3rd and 7 and things were looking shaky. There we go. We're in the end zone again. 21-3. That'll do. Oh no, right after I take a look and see how he's doing, he fumbles. That's kind of funny. Dennis Jordan going backwards is not what I want. We punt. And they ran it and did not get it, and so they punt. I will call a timeout. I forgot to look at the clock there. I think I'm going to take one deep shot and then a field goal. Ooh, never mind. A second deep shot. Third deep shot. Field goal. Cool. All right. Well, we're up 24-3 at half. We've done really well passing the ball. Run game has been solid. We're holding them to 1 of 5 on 3rd down. So that will do. As Bryson Cock gets the tackle for loss because they did a motion option end around. I love it. Read option. Looking like we're going to win this game. The question is just simply how much as we convert the 3rd and 11. Oh boy. 31-yard go route. You know what? Sometimes you blitz the safeties, it works. Other times it really doesn't work. They convert the 3rd and 3. Uh-oh, Peyton Beal, 45-yard pass. Fair enough, sir. Man, I even did the corner blitz right to where he's running, and you couldn't get him. Come on. All right. We have to punt. 3rd and 9. I'm going to assume they pass. They ran it on 3rd and 9, didn't get anywhere, and now they punt. Everyone is punting today. Dennis Jordan converts. Thank you, sir. Raymond Norman, 40 yards. Garrison, touchdown. The backups are now in. Engage 8. Send it. It did not work. Hashtag not today. All right, they punt. All right, so the backups are going to get a little bit of run. Walter Leonard drops the pass. And you wanted more playing time, Walter. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. All right, San Diego State gets the touchdown. Whatever. 45-yard pass to Harrison Pearson. I think Jaden Miles and Harrison Pearson are clearly roommates who just ball out whenever they're in. Grayson Todd with a catch. Byron Short gets in the end zone. All right. I mean, pretty decisive victory. I was more worried about the Louisville game than I was this one, but the time of possession was pretty even, to be fair, because they ran it almost as much as we did. We're not entirely used to seeing that, but I mean, Duncan was 15 of 22, 226 yards, 2 touchdowns. Godoy did really well. Peters, again, only 3.7. They really spread out day for the QBs. Obviously, Pearson had his deep ball, which will take no sacks from our defense. We did get the forced fumble. Avery Horn got that, so now we only need 2 more. We'll see how that plays. Peyton Beal, by the way, former wide receiver, 3 catches, 55 yards, and the fumble. Ruben Kruger, former D lineman, 3 tackles, 1 tackle for a loss. It's interesting that they both went to my rival. So, oh yeah, one thing I do want to check. I want to check if Giovanni Tripp, or not Giovanni Tripp, is playing at Kent State. Another injury? Chill out, game. Uh, he is not. They're still playing their dude who can't throw. Oh boy, I feel so bad for Vogel, man. Like he's such a good QB attributes wise, and the AI just isn't playing them because they're prioritizing the running ability that Brewer has. Like Brian Setsu, who I signed, he could be a starter today. Whatever. All right, so who? So Brady McLean is back. That doesn't change anything. Calvin Weaver is out. So that means Jaden Warren. Oh no, Weaver was just depth. Never mind. That changes nothing. Cool. I'm gonna stick with this tight end configuration. I think I like what's happening more. One player recruited, and it's Nicholas Unger, who looks like a really solid safety. He definitely needs the red shirt year, I think, especially with D potential. He just needs better speed, but his tackling is already good. Coverage ability is solid. So I like him a lot. Let me. All right, how'd the visit go? All right, they beat Maryland and they got 1,100 points. If he doesn't choose, I'm gonna remove him from my list so that I get so many negative hits that OSU gets in such an insurmountable lead that the kid commits sooner. Because the fact that he still has narrowing schools and not may commit soon is a little disconcerting. Because I don't want to have to take the 1 point integrity hit to get my 1 million back. Would have been nice to have him, but oh well. Okay, final game of the regular season. We currently sit fourth in the country at 11-0. USC also still 11-0. I no longer see Liberty, so I assume that means they won. They just dropped to unranked. Okay. So we'll see. I think we're guaranteed top 12, even if we lose, I would say. But I could be wrong. We'll see. UNLV, they're 5-6. Their record was much better before. Yep, they have lost 5 out of the past 6 games. Okay, so they're ice cold coming in to face us. They have one of the worst offensive lines and the worst defensive line in terms of sacks. Need I look at anything else? I don't think so. QB is Oliver Lua again. He's having a better season, which is good on him. Looks like he's kind of running the ball. Okay. I think in that case, we'll just work on our running and stopping their pass. But this game, might get out of hand. We'll see. Also, with that win against San Diego State, we get 7.5 million, which helps quite a bit. We're favored by 25.5 points. That is quite a bit. I have 3 recruits visiting. I'm trying to catch USC for Tony Sparks and Cal for Emmanuel Hayes. So we'll see how that goes. I'd like to get both of them, Tony Sparks especially, but we'll see. Last year, we beat UNLV 35-6. So if we win this game, we have an undefeated regular season. It is heads. We will elect to defer, as is our want. And a tackle for loss in the first play. I hear that's good. A tackle for loss on the second play. I hear that's good. Dang, I was hoping for 3 straight tackles for loss. A 20-yard punt return from Phoenix Roberts. I think this just means we have the mandate and we're going to win. That would be my bubble screen. The bubble screen even worked. I'm so sorry, UNLV. Garrison gets in the end zone. We're up 7-0. And they punt again. Who got the negative 2-yard run there? I'm just going to assume it was Peters. Nope, it was Garrison. But we convert the third down run anyway, or third down pass. That'll do. 3rd and 5. Get sweep. Didn't work. I got too ambitious. Underworks once again. Asher Donahue, 10-yard pass. We're up 14-0. Landon Stafford, another tackle for a loss. I just want a fumble at this point. Like, I'm blitzing the house every time to get my forced fumble. Shamelessly, might I add. From Lockhart got 12 yards there. That's good for him. Oi, Duncan picked. Oh, buddy. I convert the 3rd and 1. Not the 3rd and 11. That one proved to be a little trickier. Jet sweep. It worked. Peters fumble. Okay. Peyton Anderson got a sack. Thank you, sir. That's now 2 turnovers. And the second half ain't even over yet, as they just blitzed down the field with reckless abandon. And it is now 7-point game. That said, the play action is working. Y corner. Slants. I'm actually going to go for it on 4th and 1. All right, we get it. Good. There we go. Ian Fox, touchdown. I would like to burn a bit more clock. I should have taken it off of up-tempo and set it to normal those past couple plays, but that is what it is. The AI wants me to keep doing cover 4 quarters. Like, do they not see the down and distance? You silly game. All right, 4th and 2. I'm going to call a timeout just in case we return the punt for a touchdown. They go for it. Blitz. Send it. Cool. They did a Hail Mary when I did Thunder Smoke Blitz. That could have been a catastrophe. But it's A-okay. How'd our run game do that first half? Ours did okay. Theirs was terrible. So that might be the saving grace here if we can just burn a lot of this clock. Norman fumbles. That is 3 turnovers now. And I do a blitz when they call slants. Oh, boy. All right, they have to settle for a field goal, but we are really making things difficult on us. 31-yard pass to Asher Donahue. That'll play. Peters goes backwards. All right, we have to settle for a field goal too. 14-point game. Tackle for a loss, Kendall Vance. And they punt. Okay, that's big. That was a really big stop. Because now we have the ball in pretty okay field position. We can run it a bit. Dennis Jordan got nothing. Ignore everything I just said. That was a 30-yard punt from Matthews. Malik Greer with the tackle for a loss. They punt. Well, 3rd and 10. You know what? 4 verts. Send it. Didn't work. It did not work. Uh-oh. And suddenly, they're at the 9. And they run it in. I thought they'd pass. All right. It is a 7-point game. And our offense is just shooting itself in the foot, the leg, and the useless appendix right now. Just get me in the end zone, please. Field goal's good. 10-point game. That drive burned 5 minutes off the clock. So I think as long as our defense doesn't completely collapse, we should be okay. We get a 3 now. Cool. Man alive. Yeah, I'm just going to keep running it. Yeah. Peters goes backwards. And then he gets a 17-yard touchdown. Okay. So the score line, I mean, it was a pretty close game, but the only reason it's close is we turned the ball over 3 times and just couldn't get out of our own way. Duncan, 24-32, 276 yards, 2 touchdowns through the pick. Peters, I think, had one of his better games, but he also had the fumble. Garrison did well. Norman fumbled, which sucks, but Donahue had a good game. Defensively, 9 tackles for loss, 1 sack. No forced fumble. So I think it's unlikely we're going to get that donor goal. But we beat UNLV. We have secured an undefeated regular season for Fresno State in only our second year with the school. That is very impressive. And we've been invited to Mountain West. And we go up by 1 in the rankings. Let's take a moment really quick. Did someone lose? Michigan lost to OSU. First time forever now. Oh boy. All right. I mean, yeah, we're 3. Like we're in the playoff even if we lose the Mountain West Championship game without question, which is great. Who we playing? Colorado State again. And they played us kind of close early on, but we held their rushing attack to 1.4 yards per carry. So, not too worried about that. I did see Malik Greer's back to full strength, which is good. That was the only return injury, right? Yeah, cool. And then official results. All right, Moises Myers commits. That's good. Emmanuel Hayes we're ahead of now, and Tony Sparks we're also ahead of USC, which is awesome. Moises Myers commits. He is more of just your, why not get him in the building, see how he develops. But now we're going to have just a plethora of running backs that have really good potential. They're all going to develop well. And I think my dependency on that really great running back at the top will go down because of it. Because losing Benjamin Darling, I definitely underestimated the impact that would have. But we have a bye week. Let us advance. See what happens. No commits. No nothing. So we get Pittman back for the playoffs. That'll do. Nobody wants to. I'm currently only sitting at 7 commits. If I have to deal with 6 recruits that are waiting into the transfer portal, I might cry. Especially someone like Emmanuel Hayes and Tony Sparks. It's a really tight race for those guys. All right, let's talk Colorado State. So, congrats to them for making the Mountain West championship game. They won 5 in a row to seal it, including an overtime win against Air Force. That's cool. Props to them. They're doing it with they're number 1 in the country in drives per game. Fair enough. What must that be like? They're really good against the pass. They're second in the country in opposing turnovers. Their QB, yeah, still Sean Dorsey, who has had an okay year. I mean, anything is better than his last year. Against us, we did get him on the pick, which is good. And then he threw 3 picks against Oregon, gets 4 against New Mexico. My God. Yeah, I'm not too worried about Colorado State. I think the only way they get us is similar to UNLV, where we just turn the ball over like 3 times and don't get in the end zone. They're 127th country in running the ball. So this could be another air raid game, but we're favored by 18 points. So far in the sim, last year I beat Colorado State by 25. This year I beat them by 16. And this is Colorado State's first time in the Mountain West Championship game. Either Air Force or Fresno State have been in the championship game every year. It's kind of cool. But shout out to Colorado State for making it. I mean, winning 5 games in a row to make the Mountain West Championship game, that's just fun. We will defer to the second half. Oi, and they return the kick 39 yards. That must be nice. And Kendall Van sacks them anyway. Okay, that was close to catastrophe. Oh, boy. Oh, the deep ball is working. We're moving. We're shaking. The jet sweep even worked. Norman in the end zone. My God. That first drive, Donahue, 2 catches, 34. Norman, 2 catches, 26, touchdown. Okay. Good start. Hashtag analysis. Oi, they did hitches. I thought they'd run and they did hitches. Well, shucks. Dang, they got us in the slants. All right, tied ball game. Just a bad time for us to be blitzing. Duncan got sacked. 3rd and 12, just chuck it. All right, we punt. Ooh, we got him at the 3. And it's a safety for Leo Wilkinson. Tacos Milo Witt. We get the ball back. We convert the 3rd and 7 with a 7-yard pass. It's fine. Those 2 points are good because that means if we get a touchdown and an extra point, we go up by 9. Going for it on 4th and 1. Garrison gets it. Thank you, sir. We're at the 1. Boom. 9-point game now, which is big. And Landon Stafford gets the sack. They punt. Now we're just going to run the ball to our heart's content. Never mind. I tried that. It didn't work. Uh-oh. They punt. I'm going to go just to normal. Peters, man. Hey. Well, that was terrible. Ian Fox, 15 yards. I'm seeing a lot of Ian Fox, which kind of makes me nervous that a wide receiver is hurt, in all honesty. But I will cross that bridge when I get there. All right, let's take the field goal. Go up by 12. I am not going to do cover 4 quarters when they need 8 yards, you silly game. Okay, halftime, I think good news is we're doing really well on 3rd down. They've only have 1 3rd down conversion the whole first half. Bad news is their pass game's looking pretty solid. And Duncan currently has a 50% completion percentage. And an incompletion on 1st down is where I want to be in my life. We punt. There we go. Landon Stafford gets the sack. He's having a day. My team's coming out for this conference championship game. Peters fumbled. Well, let's flash back to what I said earlier, where the only way we lose this game is if we turn the ball over and struggle to get in the end zone. Thankfully, the defense gets the stop and no harm doing. But my gosh. Keaton Peters redeems himself, 14-yard run. We're up by 19 now. That'll do. I saw someone get the sack, but I didn't see who it was. Malik Greer, thank you, sir. And Malachi Atkinson with the pick. We get the ball back with beautiful field position. Already in the red zone. Play action. It kind of worked. All right, Garrison in the end zone. I think at this point the game is ours. It's just a question of how many can Colorado State put points on the board, which at the moment the answer is no. The backups are in for almost the entire fourth quarter, and it's the championship game, which is kind of crazy. Big third down conversion there to Harrison Pearson. Johnny Sweeney going backwards. Not really where I want to be in my life, but it's fine. Backup defense forces the punt also. Play action crossers worked. My God. I probably should be running the ball, but 4th and 1 from the 12. I'll take the field goal. I'll give my backup defense some run. Oh, 38-yard pass. Looks like they're going to score. Never mind, they ran out of time and they decided not to use their timeouts. We, for the second year in a row, Mountain West champions as we crush Colorado State 36-7. Very well done. Duncan didn't even have a great game by his standards. Keaton Peters, he did fumble, but he also got 100 yards and a touchdown. Garrison did well. Dennis Jordan left much to be desired. Byron Short finished with 4 carries for 0 yards, and he's complaining about playing time. Norman got a touchdown, which is good. Defensively, 5 sacks. That'll do. No forced fumbles for those keeping track at home. Matthews, perfect from kicking. That'll do. All right, we're back-to-back Mountain West champs. Safe to say I have had an immediate impact at Fresno. But now the question becomes, where will we be ranked in the playoff? Let's just show the whole bracket. We are 3rd. We get the bye. Ooh, that's huge. I assumed we'd get it, but I also didn't check who was in the other conference games. So USC 1, Bama 2, we're 3, Notre Dame is 4. 5-12 game is Baylor and Texas. 6-11 is Michigan, Arizona. 7-10 OSU and Oklahoma, and then 8-9 Kentucky and Illinois. So Big Ten showing up. Penn State 14th this time around. What is Texas? Texas is 9-3, and they get in over Florida, who's also 9-3. Fair enough. All right. We have made the playoff as a 3 seed. Oh, Brandon Estes. Season-ending leg injury. That is unfortunate. He was a depth guy that was finally getting a little bit of playing time, and he goes down. So now Edwin Gill is going to show up and get some reps. I'm slowly losing some alignment here. Good news is, though, Jared Pittman is back. You're complaining about playing time. You were injured, sir. You were injured. Don't give me that. You had a severe leg injury. What, do you want to play? Killing me, Smalls. What a silly man. All right, recruiting 2 recruits. Johnny Huber, who's really good wide receiver, needs to work on his speed, needs to work on his catching. But he has A-minus potential. So he'll redshirt, obviously. Hopefully we'll get good development from him. Pierce Ray, we get just your classic O-line depth, okay potential. 4-star prospect, though, so that helps the recruiting rankings. Only 2 of my 8 targets are going to commit soon. Man alive, guys. Do I want to spend money for Emmanuel Hayes? Not really. It was just the quickest look of my life. I'm like, do I? No. Ezekiel Muhammad goes to OSU. So we get the $1 million back, which is good. All right, let's advance the week to awards week and see what we get. Player of the year, Caleb Schwartz. Drew Duncan, 8th for the Heisman. Okay. Okay. He finished with almost 2,900 yards, 22 touchdowns, 6 picks, 4 rushing touchdowns. All right. Good on you, buddy. Defensive player of the year. Oh yeah, I'll just go to the awards winner page. I'll just do that. I think. Or actually I lied. I'll do it this way. Defensive player of the year, nobody. Freshman of the year, nobody. Coach of the year, no dice. Who got it in the Mountain West? Jeremy Livingston of San Jose for finishing 8-4. Good on you, buddy. Good on you. All right, All Americans, we had 2. Second team offense, Raymond Norman. You're telling me eighth, whatever. Raymond Norman makes it 955 yards, 6 touchdowns. Did have 2 fumbles, but we're not going to hold that against him. Third team All American goes to Garrison. 900 yards, 16 touchdowns on the ground. That'll do. That'll do. All right, and then I don't think we had any freshmen that would really be eligible. Byron Cock, maybe. Oh, we had 3. Williamson gets it, 24 tackles, 6 tackles for loss, 2 sacks. Byron? Bryson. Bryson gets it, 32 tackles, 4 tackles for loss. And this is key. Braden Reyes makes it. Our last sort of starting corner, 14 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, got a sack and a pick. That works. All right, looking at the Mountain West. First team on offense. Almost every single spot is ours. Duncan, Garrison, Keaton, Norman, Donahue, Herring, Bell, Robertson, Olson, McCabe, Matthews, Roberts. Everything except the third wide receiver slot and a tight end. That works. Defensively, Vance makes it a D line. His 5 sacks helping out. Webb makes it. Forced fumble. Atkinson got the pick at the end, which helps. McCoy had his 3-pick day. And then Matthews also made it. I don't know how Matthews makes it punting here. He had averaged 39 yards a punt, which is terrible. Second team, we had Davenport and Camp for the offensive linemen. Defensively, Wilkinson and Hendrickson make it. Hale and Greer both make conference. Nasir Richard as well, who benefited from Pittman's injury. He got a bit more playing time. And then Horn and Fisher make it at corner. The pick 6 from Fisher, I think, did a lot of help there. And then Lanier with a pick 6 also. Those are your awards. For those keeping track at home, we did get a linebacker earning all conference, which means we get $3 million US. Corey Neal commits, and he gets in the building. I mean, he's just a really solid corner that needs to hit on his development, get better IQ, get better tackling. Other than that, he's going to be really good. Okay, Emmanuel Hayes will commit soon, which is good because mathematically, Cal is going to catch me eventually the second they offer money because their best pitch is better than mine. So if they offer any money, we're in trouble. All right. Oh yeah, I did want to check Conference Championship. So Bama won the SEC. USC beat Michigan. There we go. All right. Any Mountain West teams for the Bowls? San Jose State against Arizona State in the LA Bowl. That's a home game for San Jose. San Diego State against Tulane and Independence, New Mexico against Kansas and First Responder, Colorado State against Coastal Carolina and Fresco, Wyoming against Kent State. Kent State finished 8-4 and they made a bowl. Good on them. Good on them. UNLV against Houston and famous Idaho Potato. That means, yeah, Kent State, they started 0-2, rattled off 6 straight wins, but then beat Akron and Buffalo to finish. Good on them. Good on them. All right, let us advance the week. Good news is, since we're in the playoffs, we have some extra time for our players to get healthy, because I have 200 players that'll be back by the time the playoff game rolls around. I'll have both Hooper and Weaver back. Weaver doesn't matter that much, but Edgar Hooper will help out a ton. A ton. Never mind, we face here. I thought playoff week meant this. Shiza. It's fine. We're in trouble. Oh, Jamison Poe commits. Jury's still out on where I'm gonna play Jamison Poe. I'm probably gonna keep him at safety unless his speed gets a big tick up, because his 81 zone coverage is just really solid, and then 70 tackling, I'll take it. Another 4-star recruit get in the building. I can't believe I forgot when we played. I thought playoff week was the first week. I was deceived. Oh boy. All right, so we have Michigan. Hello, Michigan. They were ranked 6th. They beat Arizona 37-7. Looks like the Texas Baylor game and Kentucky, Illinois were the only good ones. How does a 10-point game end in a classic? What happened? Oh, Kentucky scored 14 unanswered points. Oh, no. So they scored a touchdown, then Illinois fumbled. Kentucky got the other touchdown, and then to end the game, Illinois threw a pick. That hurts. All right. Michigan. Hello. How has your season gone? They're 6th in the country. They were undefeated until they lost to OSU. Then they lost again in the Big Ten championship game. Would fans be calling for the firing of Michigan's head coach if this happened? Who knows? But they just beat Arizona, and now they face us. Let's look at that summary page. Oh, God, they're number 2 against the rush. Okay. I don't know if I need to see anything else, to be honest. To know this might be a problem. Looks like their starting QB is injured. Carter Manley went down. And what a shame that they have to play 85 overall, A-plus potential, redshirt sophomore Israel Moment. God, I wish I managed Michigan. Whatever. Can he run? Well, his ball carrier vision is a 91. So that kind of answers itself. Okay, then. Well, we're going to work on our run game, even though it's likely going to get crushed immediately. So here we go. I mean, listen, we won our conference, which was our goal this season. We're undefeated going into the playoffs. So no matter what happens in this game, I am a happy man. That said, Michigan is favored by 1. Honestly, thought they'd be favored by more. Here we go. Let us start. Michigan calls heads, and it is tails. We are going to defer. Even though the odds are decent that Michigan scores on their first drive, I still want the ball first in the second half. Still. All right, so it is Israel Moment. He is going to play, and they did hitches when I blitzed. And that was that. Oh, boy. Well, it only took 6 plays. Or 5. It didn't even take 6. It took less. But they are in the end zone, and now we have to send all thoughts, prayers, and vibes my way that we take this. The mesh works. Raymond Norman, 5-yard touchdown. That's right, Michigan. You ain't in the Big Ten anymore, son. This is a shootout. Jace Jung, deciding his Detroit Tigers baseball career wasn't taking off, has become a wide receiver for Michigan. Oi, Austin Horn with the deflection off the slant route. Okay, we forced Michigan to punt. We need to take advantage here. 3rd and 6. Let's try corner post. Incomplete. We punched. Dang it. We're not going to get a lot of punts, man. I say that and we get a second one. Brandon Reyes with the pass deflection there. Okay. Okay. Our defense is holding up well. The jet sweep was probably not the right call there, but it's fine. Duncan is picked. Hey, they convert the 3rd and 10. Nasir Richard tackle for a loss. I like that a lot. And they punt. Okay. I mean, this has been a lot more defensive heavy game than I thought it would be. Dennis Jordan goes backwards. 26-yard pass over the top. That'll do. I haven't done FO cross in a bit. That's probably why. Why was Carrington in the game? Just double checking. He is 3rd, right? Yeah, okay. Field goal. It is good. All right, but now Michigan has a chance to do a 2-minute drill. So this could be painful. Yep, it's painful. Okay, well, I'm not a huge fan of Phoenix Roberts' 10-yard kickoff return to the 9, I must say. There we go. We get the first down. Now I'm just trying to get in field goal range. Like, oh no. And I'm gonna pass it. We punt. All right. Hey, Malik Greer with the pick at the goal line. That'll do. They punt. Okay, so far at half, I'm really impressed with our defense, I think. That said, they're on. Yeah, this is going to be a shootout. I mean, they're not doing a great job running the ball. They're killing us in the air. They're only 1 of 4 on 3rd down. I think the story of this game, if we don't win, is that our defense did a good enough job in the first half that we should have had a lead. Is probably how I'm going to look back on this. And Duncan is sacked. And that will lead to a punt. They convert the 3rd and 2. Israel ran for it. All right, 11-point game. I'm keeping shoe clock on until we get closer to like the end of the game in the 4th quarter. For now, I'm keeping it. Slants? Drive? Okay. A field goal doesn't really help me. I should have ran it on 3rd and 5. I'll take the field goal. 8-point game. I think if they score a touchdown, though, that's probably that. And over the top, they send Zechariah Macklin to the end zone. 52 yards. Well, hell. 15-point game. We have scored completely unanswered points in the 4th quarter before, but not against a team like Michigan. Larry Fisher, you beauty. They do curls on 3rd and 1, which is inspired. And Larry Fisher picks him off. Okay. At this point, officially, a field goal doesn't help us. So unless we get sacked huge, there we go. Walter Leonard touchdown. I am going to go for 2 now. We don't get it. 9-point game. Okay. Uh-oh. Well, they drove down very quick, didn't they? They get the touchdown, 16-point game. That will likely do it. 4th and 4. I mean, I'm going for it. I have to go for it. We don't get it. Jerome Lockhart drops it. I'm not saying he's had a bad season because we haven't thrown it to the tight ends as much. But if you want to talk about a disappointing transfer relative to like my expectation, Jerome Lockhart is up there on that list. But yeah, Michigan finds the end zone. I'm going to turn Chew Clock on just for my sanity here. Read option doesn't work. And we convert on 4th down now. There we go. Ian Fox with the conversion. Smash play. Hey, we're at the 17. Can we get in the end zone? No. We fall short. Run out of time. Oh yeah. I mean, Michigan got us 42-19. And I think what I said just after halftime, I think held true, is that our defense held them to 14 points in the first half and we only got 10. I think that was the time where, if we score a touchdown instead of a field goal, if we get a turnover, we're looking a bit better, but they just crushed us in the second half. They really did. And we forced 2 turnovers too. Like if you would have told me going into the game that we forced 2 turnovers against Michigan, I would have really liked our odds. But I mean, they averaged 9 yards a pass. You're not going to win many games when the opposing QB is just doing that. Peters, I mean, to his credit, he had a good game. Garrison, no, 1.7 yards per carry. Duncan did obviously the pick sucks, but other than that, I think he did fine. Ian Fox got involved quite a bit. Norman got a touchdown. Leonard got a touchdown. I think is good for him. But I mean, we had 2 tackles for loss the whole game and never sacked him, whereas they sacked us twice. Credit to Fisher and Greer for the picks at least, but I mean, another sneaky big difference is their kickoff returner averaged 30 yards a return. We averaged 18. Like that ain't nothing. Matthews, credit to him, he was perfect on his kicks, but I mean they had 6 extra points for God's sakes. Disappointing, I think. Disappointing to lose, especially by this much. I think we made it a close game for about two quarters. It was a close one, but we'll see. Oh boy. And we had 5. Oh boy, Webb, Horn, and Atkinson all go down. Garrison, Staff. They just. I mean, that's my top 3 corners. My, third, fourth defensive lineman, and my second running. But good lord, goodness gracious me! Like that's actually insane. Oh boy. Yeah, like I'm down to 5 corners now. I'm down to 5 corners and 2 of them are injured. Oh boy. Well, that is the season. We finished 13-1, 9-0 in conference, made the playoff quarterfinal, lost it to Michigan. But I think overall, without question, a successful season. I think any way you slice it, Manuel Hayes commits, which is awesome. I think anyone you slice it, a good season. Last season, I mean, the playoffs weren't the goal. The goal was to make the conference championship game. And the fact that we missed the playoff by 1 place was just incredibly annoying, especially since objectively we had a better resume than Penn State. The only thing they got us in was strength of schedule. Like we had wins, we had more wins against ranked teams. They didn't even beat a ranked team. Whatever. We won our conference. I'm not doing this again. But I think, especially considering the injuries that we had throughout the season, especially in our linebacking core, I'll take that. I think the end is a bit meh because we did get blown out by Michigan for a half, but that is what it is. We do not get the forced fumble goal, by the way, so that's 5.25 million we will not be seeing from the Diamond Donor. All right, let's advance the week. We are now rooting for Michigan to win it all, just so that I can turn around and say that we lost to the champs. Well, they lost to Bama. Oh, there goes that. All right, two more commits. Rodolfo Horn, who's just your classic depth D lineman. And then Jason Walters commits. Now, Jason Walters is a very interesting prospect. For one, Missouri offered him 1.2 million, and they never even got close, which is kind of funny. But Walters is here purely for his sort of running ability and his potential. Like, he can't throw a pass. I doubt he'll ever play, but he's kind of also here so I can keep track of him a little bit and see how like a pure running QB would develop. So I don't think he's ever going to play. But wanted to get him in the building. All right, so we're down to 3 recruits left, and unless they commit this week, they're going to have to wait to signing day. Looks like Caden Bowers will not commit, so we're going to take that into the transfer portal. Logan Pike, Tony Sparks, hopefully they commit. We'll see. Let's advance. No dice. All right, so 3 recruits to signing day. All right, yearly summary. I think immensely successful. 13-1, 9-0 in conference. Considering the injuries on defense, especially, and how we had a much worse running game, immensely successful. We are now up to 100 AD coach opinion, which makes us essentially unfireable the rest of the way at Fresno. The fan base passion goes up to a B, which is great. We kept both of our player promises, so our integrity is up to an 81. Remember, we lost. I lost 6 integrity just because I revoked so many offers. Which is when I got here, which is always kind of funny. But that is what it is. Great year, I think. I think especially the 3 players to highlight in this. Firstly, obviously, Drew Duncan, who I knew was going to be the starter for 2 years and did about as well as I could have hoped. Hindsight being 2020, I would have liked to involve him in the run game a bit more in 2028, but he also had good development with his ball carrier vision and his speed for that. Other than that, I mean, didn't turn the ball over that much. Slurred, he was on pace at one point to get nearly 4,000 yards, which obviously he wasn't going to hit, but he got 3,000 yards. Offensive line kept him up a bunch. He did really well. Then the others I'll just get to when I do my drafting stuff. All right, so I have 2 upgrade points remaining. I'm just putting them both in training. Ooh, and I have a new skill badge. Army of Scouts. Give me an extra 4 scouts. That's obvious. Clear as day. Face Rodriguez got 2 points. I'm putting them both into training. And Army of Scouts. I'm just gonna have a biblical amount of scouts. A Frayne Keller. Expert trainer ain't a bad idea. I'm going to do money down where, because I think third down has especially been a struggle for us. Less so this year, but definitely more so last year. Getting help on those downs with a boost in coverage will be pretty good. That's my call. All right, coaching carousel. My rule is I will not block my offensive coordinators from leaving for head coaching jobs. I will try to keep them if it's just another coordinator job. Neither of them wants to renegotiate, which is fine. We do have offers from other schools, but I'm going to be honest, like even Georgia LSU, like they had down years. I could probably fix them up pretty quickly, but I like what we're doing at Fresno State. We've won our conference 2 straight years, made the playoffs. I'm staying here on my current contract. All right, Chase Rodriguez, no offers for him, so we're gonna keep him, and no offers for Frank Keller. All right, simple as that. Fair enough. Let me see other changes in the Mountain West. Ooh, we got a new head coach at Utah State. Looks like that's it. Okay. Pretty good. I do want to check really quick my coaching tree. So Oscar Stahl, he was my offensive coordinator at Kent State. Now he's the head coach. 6-6 year one, 8-5 with a bowl loss in year two. Not too bad. The offense has just been terrible, man. Like, oh lordy, it's fine. All right, players leaving. So no one's entering the draft early, which is good. We do, however, have 18 graduating seniors, and so many of them were awesome. Drew Duncan, who I talked about before, really great quarterback. We're going to struggle to replace him. I'll miss him. Jaden Miles also graduates. He was our backup QB. Never really got that much playing time because Duncan was healthy. But, I mean, when he played, he did pretty solid. 63% completion percentage, handful of touchdowns. Like, that'll play. Duncan, by the way, currently is a undrafted free agent in the draft. I don't see how that's possible, but whatever. Running back, we lose Garrison, which this is going to hurt a lot. He was very successful this past season, stepping up into that role. He got Mountain West Running Back of the Year, first team, got All-American, nearly 1,000 yards rushing, 16 touchdowns, never fumbled in the 3 years he was a backup and then a starter. Tremendous. One of the better running backs I've had quietly. Really, really good. And again, we lost Darling last year. We're losing Garrison this year. Our running back room is going to take a big hit. Wide receivers, we're losing to Asher Donahue, who didn't play that much prior to my arrival, but then really stepped into form, got a handful of touchdowns, was a solid, 700-yard receiver. No real complaints. He was first team All Mountain West 2 straight years in a row. That'll play. And then Phoenix Roberts, who again was a solid receiver. His role kind of stepped down this year because other guys got better. But for return specialists, 2027 he had a kickoff return touchdown. 2028 punt return for a touchdown. This year, no such touchdown, but still really good returner. Were it not for the fumbles that he's had, he'd be one of the best sort of returners I've had just by the touchdowns. Tight end, we're not losing anybody. O-line, we're only losing one O-lineman. Dustin Davenport, who was a backup, kind of in the back end there last season. This year, he exploded, got 25 pancakes, only 3 sacks allowed. Tremendous offensive lineman for his 1 year production. Kicker, we're not missing anybody. Defensive line. This is the group that I think we're in legitimate trouble. I'll get to the other one later. Kendall Vance is going. He was a transfer from USC that the AI brought in, and I'm really happy they did. He got 40 plus tackles with me, almost 30 tackles for loss, 8 sacks, really good pressures, just a really good D lineman. And I clocked this earlier. His potential at one point was an A minus. And then it just kept going down. But even though his potential went down, he developed really well, especially with his tackling, his strength. So it goes to show that even if potential starts going down, if the player is still developing well, they'll cancel each other out. Landon Stafford at one point was kind of the unsung hero depth guy. He was like my fourth, D lineman every year, but consistently got about 25, 35 tackles. Doesn't tackle for loss, got some sacks in there. Just, solid, dependable D lineman. No real complaints. Never really going to be the star of the show, but a really good, fourth guy. Leo Wilkinson was a starter for the AI, then a backup for me, and then became a starter again. And I thought did well. He did have a couple injuries, which kind of hurt him last season, but Flair with 40 tackles, could count on 10 tackles for loss every year, handful of sacks. Really solid guy. And then lastly, Jaden Warren, who didn't really play all that much for me until this year, and even then didn't get that much production. 11 tackles for loss, got a tackle for, or 11 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, but never really played for me until this season. Linebacker, we're losing Cooper Hale. We salute the man. I brought him in as a transfer from Washington, and he crushed it. 40 tackles a season, 6 tackles for loss each season, got a couple sacks in there. Did much better completion percentage wise this year compared to last. Locked down that starting spot. No notes. Now that's an example of a really good transfer, I think. Eric Trevetti is the other linebacker leaving. He played more for the AI than he did for me. And this year, unfortunately, he just got leapfrogged by some of the younger guys. Cook coming in didn't help his standing. And so he didn't play that much this year, but still really great in coverage. 4 completions on 15 targets. That'll do. And then finally, Javon Branch, who was a backup and played a little bit more this season because of injuries. Got 5 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, 3 pressures. Really solid depth guy. Okay, let's get to the other bad one. I am losing my top 4 corners. I'll kind of talk about all of them in the same breath, but none of them really did great in terms of interceptions and such, but Rishi Webb allowed less than 50% completion percentage. Austin Horn allowed 57% completion percentage. Malachi Atkinson, 41% completion percentage. And then finally, Larry Fisher, who was a converted safety. I think my decision to move him from safety to corner, I think hindsight being 2020, maybe I keep him at safety, but I wanted other guys to play. He suffered a severe concussion that knocked him out a couple games. Allowed a lot of receptions and coverage, so that one was a little iffy. But other than that, I'm losing some really good corners that were all conference, solid percentages amongst them. And the good news is for the cornerback group is that I have Sean Cody, Gavin Wren, Evan Foster, and Leo Coleman, all who redshirted. They get good development. We might have a cornerback room ready to reset. Or they develop poorly and we're just dead. That's also an option. And then safety, Nolan Lofton graduates. He was a backup safety and then a starting safety this year, but didn't get that much action. Only 8 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, 3 or 5 coverage, but didn't get that much playing time. I found that safeties in this game don't really get a lot of big counting stats. So TLDR, I think obviously we're losing our starting QB. We're losing four all conference corners. We're losing three all conference D linemen. That's gonna hurt. Now let's get to the players that want to transfer. This advance usually slows everything down. Do, do, do. Loading. Loading. Seven's a decent number. All right, let us look at the players that want to leave, starting with Byron Short at running back. I think I let him leave. Like, in all honesty, Keaton Peters is going to be our number one running back. I think Dennis Jordan shows that he can do it. The problem with Dennis Jordan is, though, he had a really bad second half to the year, like 2 carries, 10 yards, 420, 712, 412, where his average numbers really ticked but down. But I think overall, I think he's gonna be fine. And then I have guys behind him like Johnny Sweeney, Kyle Stewart, Michael Ivy, both redshirted, that I think I am fine letting Byron Short walk. I might want to bring in another running back in the transfer portal, mayhaps, but we'll see. All right, wide receiver, we have a couple big decisions to make. Um, I can already tell you, Caden Arnold is gonna go. He only played 1% of snaps, nothing too crazy. I have younger guys like Giovanni Boyle, Johnny Huber, Preston Norton behind them. So Caden Arnold is gone. I think I would like to keep one of Grayson Todd or Ian Fox. Ian Fox obviously is the better overall wide receiver, but if I keep him over Todd, that means next year I'm losing Norman, Pearson, and Fox. That does kind of hurt me a bit. The other issue is just Graydon Todd hasn't played. And his potential is down. I guess it went up a little bit last year, but his catching and stuff barely moved. What do they both want? Todd wants 25 targets. Fox, 50% of snaps. Hmm. I think honestly, yeah. I'll promise him 50% of snaps, and then Norman's going to be our number one wide receiver again, and then it'll be between Pearson and Fox. See who develops more, whose catching is better, and they will play. But yeah, so great. Todd and Arnold both going to be gone. I think that's fine because then 1, 2, 3, Boyle is 4, and then other Boyle is 5. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Tight end, no one wants to leave, but I probably should cut somebody. Like 7 tight ends is insane. 6 is also kind of crazy. I'm tempted to move Brady McLean to O lineman. Do I cut Gage Duncan, the JUCO guy? I might, to be honest. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna I'm gonna cut Duncan, who I signed as a JUCO and then redshirted. Like realistically, there's no role for him. And then I'll make a note to move McLean to O line because that gives me Carrington, Lockhart, Leonard again, Montgomery for depth. I'm okay with that. Offensive line. Nobody wants to leave, which is good. I don't think I really want to cut anyone either because I'm not going to bring in any transfers. Yeah, Edwin Gill would be like the only one in terms of potential, but I mean, he's solid. So yeah, no alignment get cut today. Kicker, I'm keeping my 2. D lineman, no one wants to leave, and I don't really want to cut anyone because they all got pretty solid potential. But yeah, D line is going to be a huge need, just bridging the gap between Hendrickson, Williamson, and everyone else. Linebacker. All right, Pittman wants to leave because he wasn't playing that much relative to everybody else. Oh, do I let him leave? And he wasn't doing much before he got injured this year. But it's not great behind him. I might pay him money. I might give him 1 million as opposed to 40% of snaps. Because if I promise 40% of snaps and he ends up being worse than Nasir Richard, I'm kind of in trouble. So I'm going to pay him 1 million. And then I think I cut Damian Wilkinson, I think. Like he's not really going to play. Development wise, hasn't been great. So yeah, I think Damian we're going to let go. That'll free up a spot for like Ricardo Thompson to play or Caden Caldwell to get more reps. All right. Corner. I can't cut anyone because I can't afford to. I'm already losing all these guys. Brandon Reyes wants to transfer. I am going to gladly promise him 40% snaps because he's definitely going to get it. And we'll just see how that goes, really. I think I'm still going to bring in a transfer corner. I think I kind of have to. Um, just in case like Reyes or Gail McGowan don't get a good boost. But I like our corner room now. Safety. All right. Hyde wants to leave. I think I let him, just realistically. Like, I'm going to have McCoy for 1 more year, Lanier and Murphy for 2. I think Antoine Hyde, in all honesty, is a pretty decent safety, but he's only going to be like safety 4 next year, and we're going to be in the exact same boat as we were this year. So I'll let him walk, and then probably Nicholas Unger is going to be my 4th safety, and then Poe is going to redshirt. All right, so players transferring. I am letting at running back Byron Shortwalk, wide receiver Caden Arlen, Grayson Todd, and then safety Antoine Hyde. I am cutting linebacker Damian Wilkinson and tight end Gage Duncan, who is a JUCO. So that feels a bit rough. So team needs, I think I want to look into bringing a running back. QB, I am rolling the dice with Damian Fisher. And if he doesn't develop where we want to, then Oscar Hoskins is going to be our QB. Like, it's going to be one of those two. I don't want to bring in a transfer that might risk Fisher sitting for 2 years. Running backs definitely need. Wide receiver, I'm fine, even though I'm losing Todd and Arnold. Tight end, I'm fine. Offensive line, we're good. D line, yes. I think definitely bringing someone in to sit behind Hendrickson will be needed. Williamson did well, so I think he needs to play. But I need more guys up there. Linebacker, I think I'm okay. It might be worth to bring in like a mid-70s overall guy to be like a 5th linebacker if, let's say, Ricardo Thompson doesn't get a big boost or Caden Caldwell doesn't get a big boost. Corner, yes. I think I like our cornerback room, but similarly, if like these three don't get good boosts, we're in a lot of trouble. So definitely corner. I think corner, I need like two. D lineman, I probably need two. And then I'll figure the rest out because I have 11 scholarship spots. And of those 11, only three right now are being taken up by recruits. One of whom, Caden Bowers, I intend to redshirt because I don't know if he's actually ready to play. Despite being a JUCO, his coverage numbers are a little shaky. But that's where I'm at. So we are going to advance to the draft and see if Drew Duncan or one of our offensive line corners are able to get drafted. Now the dropped frames commences. No players from Fresno were drafted. That seems a bit silly. I would have figured, some of the O linemen would have went. Duncan, I think, had a shot, but I guess not. All right. Transfer portal. Here's one thing I do want to check. I'm going to go to Kent State. I'm going to look at QB. Yeah, trip left. See, they paid him 2 million. He was their fourth QB. Four. And now he's transferring again. I'm so glad I redshirted him so he could keep his year. Oh boy. Man, I mean, we're losing only 6 players that are either transferring or being cut. I think really the only one that could come back to bite us is losing like Byron Short if we're not able to bring in a running back, and my current running back depth just doesn't develop. I think outside of that, we're we're good. Oh, George Holmes into the Hall of Fame. Good on you, sir. Good on you. All right, we have reached the transfer portal. Um, as is known, I like to do the first transfer period off stream because it's just a lot of filtering, searching positions, and yada yada yada. I think one part that might be interesting is, I mean, I have 11 scholarship spots and only 3 recruits currently that I'm targeting, of which I assume I'm going to get all 3. Maybe Tony Sparks gets a bit competitive, but besides that, I think our big needs are running back, defensive line, corner, and then a tick below that is linebacker. And then I'll look at the tight end room just to see if, there's anything interesting. Let me see just if there's insanely high potential. Darren Upshaw, the safety. Well, listen, buddy, I don't need a safety. You do look like you'd be a great corner, though. So I'll keep that in mind. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I think next stream will be later this week, where I will get through the off season. I think it'll be one of my like shorter, quote unquote, but like an hour and a half videos as opposed to closer to 2 hours, and we'll kind of see where we're at. I'm really happy, I think, with how this past season finished. I mean, you can't complain with a second straight conference championship, playoff appearance, and an undefeated conference record. Like, no complaints there at all. I think the problem, though, now is my quarterback is going to be worse. And I am essentially banking on Damian Fisher having an amazing development boost. I mean, last year, His arm strength went up by 3, his accuracy went up by 3, and his IQ went up by 7. If I get similar goals, we're crushing it next year. But if he doesn't develop well, he could be in serious trouble, especially with a running back room now that just lost my best running back from last year. So we'll see how that shakes out. Thank you all for watching, everyone, whether live on Twitch or on the VODs, which can be found on Twitch and YouTube. Overall, it's been a really successful save next year. I do, however, think that next year, especially depending on how this transfer portal goes, could be a big, big hurdle. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.